Every gilded cage is built with walls of comfort. The only question is what you're paying for them.
All right, let's pull back the curtain on the world we're all living in. We tend to think of our online life as this great space for connection, for information. But what if it's really more like a grand circus? A constant spectacle of lights and noise, all designed to keep your eyes on the show while the real action is happening somewhere else entirely. Think about your feed for a second. Be honest. How many times have you clicked on some viral meme or gotten sucked into influencer drama or some trending outrage story? You probably tell yourself, oh, I'm just curious. But what if that click? What if that wasn't really your choice at all?
And that's the core argument we're exploring today. That feeling you have of freely exploring the internet, it might just be an illusion. That click isn't really a conscious choice. It's more like a reflex that the system has carefully trained into you. You aren't exploring. You are following a signal.
So to really get how this works, we need to look under the hood at the engine that's driving this whole circus. This isn't about blaming you or me. It's about understanding the machinery of the system itself. This idea, surveillance capitalism, it's a huge concept from Shoshana Zuboff. But the basic idea is pretty simple. Every single click, every like, every search you make, even the moments you just pause on a video, all of that is raw material. It's called behavioral surplus, and it's harvested for free to create a whole new kind of product. So in this new economy, you're not the customer. The real customers are the advertisers, the people who want to influence what you do next. Your attention, and more importantly, your future actions. That's the product being bought and sold in a marketplace you probably never even knew existed. You have to understand, the algorithms that build your feed, they're not optimized to show you what's true or what's nuanced. Not at all. They are optimized for one thing, engagement. They need to keep you watching, scrolling, and clicking for as long as humanly possible. Why? Because more screen time means more data to harvest and, well, more products to sell.
And that right there is the brutal, cold logic of this system. A thoughtful, complex discussion, it just doesn't generate nearly as many clicks or comments as a story that makes you furious. And the algorithm learns this. It learns that outrage is profitable. And so what does it do? It feeds us this endless stream of spectacle, trapping our attention in folly, not in truth.
So how does this engine run so effectively? I mean, how does it really work? Well, it's fueled by hacking the built-in vulnerabilities of the human brain. The system is designed not just to grab your attention, but to actually exploit your own psychology against you. See, we are all wired to seek connection, to seek safety, and the system exploits this by creating a feeling of community, a kind of digital home. All those likes, the shares, that sense of belonging to a group that thinks just like you, it feels like safety, doesn't it? But so often, it's just conditioning. It's rewarding you for staying in line and thinking with the herd. Or think about how guilt works online. It feels like it's coming from inside you, right? Like your own conscience telling you you've done something wrong. But so often, it's really just the group enforcing its rules. You've been trained to feel guilty for stepping out of line, for having the wrong opinion. Not because you actually caused harm, but because you defied the unspoken rules of your digital tribe. And this is the end result. We learn to censor ourselves. We swallow our real thoughts because speaking up just feels too risky. And the system rewards us for this silence by calling it maturity or wisdom. But in reality, it's just making us easier to manage. Okay, so while we're all mesmerized by this digital circus, what's the real-world cost? What's the price we pay for all this distraction? What's actually happening outside the tent while our attention is captured inside? Well, this table reveals a pretty stark reality that gets buried under all the online noise. And forget New York for a second, look at cities like Indianapolis or Memphis. To live comfortably, a single adult there needs to earn over $18,000 and $31,000 more than the area's median household income. This is a systemic crisis of affordability, and it's exactly the kind of critical issue that gets lost in the flood of digital spectacle. And this number, this represents the sheer weight of that crisis. Over $17.5 trillion in U.S. household debt. That is the financial trap that keeps millions of people dependent on a system that clearly isn't working for them. It's a powerful form of economic control that becomes way more effective when everyone is distracted by what's on their screen. And this really brings us full circle. The feed literally trains us to see real suffering, a friend's personal loss or the economic pain we just looked at, and then, with a simple flick of the thumb, it's gone, replaced by a funny meme or a dance video. The algorithm smothers our natural empathy with sheer convenience. So where is this whole architecture of control headed? I mean, when you combine algorithmic influence, psychological manipulation, and all this economic pressure, what's the endgame? Well, one potential future involves something called central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Now, unlike cash, they offer zero privacy, and they could introduce what's called programmable money. Just imagine a world where your money could be coded to expire if you don't spend it, or where it could be blocked from buying certain things. It's the ultimate tool for enforcing compliance, built right into the financial system itself. And then you layer AI on top of all this. AI is quickly becoming more than just a tool. It's almost a new operating system for reality itself. It's an ontological destabilizer, which is a fancy way of saying it's blurring the lines we use to make sense of the world. When an AI can tailor a reality just for you, how do you even know what's real versus what's just programming? But you see, all these futuristic tools, they just amplify the original hack. Whether it's through a social media feed or a reality-bending AI, the goal is exactly the same: to make you doubt yourself, to make you stay silent. Because a population that polices itself is always the easiest to control. So we'll end with this final thought. All those loud, angry debates we see online, the main event in the digital circus, they might just be a sideshow. The real power struggle could be this quiet, systemic recalibration of control, of privacy, of freedom, of who even matters anymore. And that leaves us with a really unsettling question. By the time we finally look away from the spectacle and notice the game being played, is it already too late?